Hello and welcome back to another great session called Advantages and Disadvantages of Data Warehousing. So, all right, let's learn about what are the advantages of data warehousing. So, data warehouse is basically a one-stop shop for all your historic data needs. So, data warehouse allows business users to quickly access their critical data from different sources all the time in one place. So this is like one-stop shop for all your historic data needs. Second advantage is consistent information. So data warehouse provides consistent information on various cross-functional activities. So you have data from sales, you have data from marketing, data from finance, receiving at a predefined process. It is also supporting the ad hoc requesting, the reporting and the querying. So the third advantage is better data integration. Data warehouse helps to integrate many sources of data to reduce the stress on the production system, which is nothing but the operational system. So you have data source in one place rather than multiple places, which makes the data retrieval much quick and efficient. Fourth advantage is the lesser turnaround time for the data analysis. So data warehouse helps to reduce the total turnaround time for the analysis and the reporting. Since the data is structured and built on the data modeling, which is required for the business purpose of the organization. So when I say a business purpose, a retail company require data in data warehouse in certain format, but banks may want it in a certain format, which is different from the retail format. Um Basically, the data is structured according to the business needs. So we'll learn more about different models in the later sessions. And the next advantage is better reporting and analysis. So restructuring and integration make it easier for the user to use for the reporting and analysis. So that means you can play with the data by mixing and matching with the multiple sources. And the next advantage is all source data is available at one place. So basically, data warehouse allows the users to access the critical data from the number of different sources in a single place. Therefore, it saves users time of retrieving the data from multiple sources. The last advantage is easy customized reporting. So data warehouse stores a large number of or large amount of historical data. This helps basically users to analyze the different time periods and trends to make the future predictions. For example, if I just want to see the sales only for the years 2009 and 2010, I can view that data in the form of grid report or in the form of the dashboard or in the form of the graph, something like that. So this is all about the advantages of the data warehouse. So let's learn about disadvantages. So because if you have an advantage, definitely you would have some disadvantages from anything, any system as such. So data, disadvantages of data warehouse basically is not ideal for the unstructured data. It's not an ideal option for the unstructured data. So when I say unstructured data, data from social media platforms, you know about the social media platforms the Facebook, Twitter, Google, and etc. Because the data which is enormous in volume, and it's mostly unstructured data. And next disadvantage is implementation is time consuming. So basically, the creation and implementation of the data warehouse is surely time-consuming affair. Since you have to, you have to integrate multiple sources, the time for defining the data model and subsequent installation is really a time-consuming. So the third disadvantage is the changes are hard to implement. So difficult to make changes in the data types and ranges, data source, schema, the indexes and the queries. Since the data warehouse is integration of multiple tables from multiple sources, there will be many schemas, tables and relationship, and it's very hard to make changes so easily. And What is the fourth disadvantage of this data? System is too complex for the beginners. So the data warehouse may seem easy, but actually it is too complex for the average users. You need to really have some technical expertise in order to start working on the data warehouse. And fifth, the disadvantage is project scope keeps increasing. So despite the best efforts at the project management, even the data warehousing project scope will always increase. Since all purpose of the data warehouse is basically like collection and representation of the data, as the organization grows, the data volume also grows. So this the increases even scope of the project, which is both good and bad from the organization perspective. What is sixth, disadvantage? Unnecessary creation of reports and cubes sometime. Sometimes the warehouse users will develop different business rules. This is when end users creates the reports from themselves. They use their own business rules on data to create reports in cubes. Because I used to work for a company called Florida Power and Light. So where I worked on some of the business intelligence, the tools like Cognos and Microsoft Business Intelligence. We gave the authority. I mean, we gave the access to the end users to create the cubes and the reports, and they have created some of the cubes and reports repeatedly. Sometimes these are some of the disadvantages of data warehouse, because so I want cube in certain way, and another user want the cube in his own way, but essentially the information in both the cubes is same, but they want it in a different format, because that is how they want to use those cubes and the reports. So absolutely, being a technical person, I do not have any control on what users are doing with the data with respect to reporting. So these are some of the, I just gave an example, real-time example, where you will have a lot of redundancy in creation of the reports and the cubes. And the last disadvantage is expensive to implement. So organizations need to spend lots of the resources for training and implementation purpose. Yes, the initial implementation cost is definitely more. So these are all about the advantages and disadvantages of the data warehouse. I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next topic.